Hi, my name is Shobit Narang, and today on Balcony Ticket, I have with me one of the finest actors, Neeraj Kabi. So, Neeraj sir, thank you so much for joining us. It's such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
So, you are an acting coach, and I've heard that before you start your acting workshops, you go by a disclaimer that there's a difference between an actor and an entertainer. So, why don't we start our conversation on the same note?
So there are three levels to performances. The first one is called the entertainer. You thereafter graduate to becoming an actor, and thereafter you graduate to becoming the artist. This is the hierarchy. That's how it goes. And that's how your training therefore increases. So from being an entertainer to the actor, the whole craft, the training becomes 10 times more. Efforts are required 10 times more. Studies are required 10 times more. Training is required to reach the actor. Once you reach the actor, then you aspire to become the artist. And that is 100 times more work to be able to qualify to be an artist. And you reach an artist level only at a very later stage in your life. You don't reach it so immediately. So Charlie Chaplin was one of the artists that we've revered. This is a popular name. There are many, many more like this, but that's a very popular name, so you know that. And in our country, we have Mr. Naseeruddin Shah. We have Mr. Pankaj Kapoor. These are people who are right there, at that level of work. Daniel Day-Lewis, Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
These are again very known faces. There are many more. There are people in the French film industry and the theatre industry. There are people from Poland. There are people in Japan. There are people in our country from Maharashtra. There are people in Bengal, South. There are many, but you don't know them. So there's no point taking those names. But these are the popular names. So this is the hierarchy. And you take a call as where you want to place yourself and put yourself. You can also do all the three. You can start as an entertainer, which is purely working on the outer physical self, which means your body, your face, the way you look, your hairstyle, what you wear, your skills at quick, immediate, easy dancing steps, not classical at all, but very easy, what you see in the film industry, those kinds of dancing steps, which are quick to learn. You take a day or 2 days maximum to learn those kinds of steps, and you can dance them. So those kinds of preparations required for the entertainer. The entertainer actually hits only the thrill element in the audience. In our brain, there are many, many facets. And one of the department is called the thrill area. So that thrill area can be satisfied with great food, whatever, smoking, drinking, whatever. So that's one small area of the brain. And that has to be thrilled. So that also looks for sometimes entertainment to be thrilled. And so only gorging on food or smoking or drinking. So entertainment provides that much. But that is the only limitation of the entertainer.
Right.
And thereafter you can decide to then go into the realm of being an actor. And then your preparations, of course, are different and your own methodologies are different. You can be both. You can be the entertainer first and the actor. And then you can go ahead to being the artist. That's your choice what you want to do. Sometimes we begin at the actor stage and we start from there, we go to artist. Sometimes people begin from entertainer, actor, and then the artist. There are very rare specimens that I can actually think of. People who've been entertainer and actors and artists. Very rare. It's even difficult to think of maybe just 3 or 2 of them even now as I'm talking to you. Very, very rare. Very rare, because the qualifications of such sort are very difficult to do. But one can aspire to do that.
Right, definitely. So how important it is for an actor to be versatile, because with all these training workshops and acting classes, an actor is made to represent different scenarios and represent different universes. So can an actor be good but limited?
An actor, the meaning of being an actor is that you represent every element of humanity. You represent every element of human emotions, human relationships, humanity at large. So when you call yourself an actor, you're supposed to. That's the meaning of being an actor. You cannot not be versatile. Then you're not an actor. Simple. It lands up over there. It's sealed and signed. You cannot be an actor if you're not. So when you say versatile, I would actually extend that to being somebody who can represent everything. You can represent a villain. You can represent a good person. You can represent a great father, a bad being, a good being, a complicated being, a joker, a woman. You can do anything, absolutely anything. That is why you qualify and you seal yourself as an actor. Till you reach there, you cannot call yourself an actor. Then you can call yourself a limited actor. Maybe an actor who can only perform, let us say, roles of a good person or roles of a bad person. That's all he can do. He can't do comedy, he can't do anything else, or she cannot do anything else. Then you limit that actor, and you can seal that actor to say that, okay, I'm a very limited actor, but I am an actor. I can represent these roles fantastically well, but I'm extremely limited in what I can do.
Now, there are various acting methodologies. Do you prescribe any of them?
I would prescribe all of them because I have studied none of them. So I would not say no to any of them. I would always suggest go learn any technique that is available because I invented my own technique, my own grammar. I've not studied this anywhere at all. So if I've invented that and if I feel somebody can do that, everybody can do this. And I'm not the only person who's inventing his own method or grammar. I'm certain there are multiple people in this country and in this universe who invented their own techniques of acting. Charlie Chaplin made his own technique of acting. He didn't go to an acting school. Yeah. So there are possibilities, but I would always say go learn. Do not try to take acting as something that is about just emoting or just reacting. No, acting is far deeper, far complex than what you can even imagine. So you need to learn the craft. You have to learn the craft.
Right. Now, a lot of people have this patronizing look towards theatre. They believe that theatre is a means and being on screen is the end. So what are your thoughts about that?
Not at all. Theatre is the foundation and theatre will remain the foundation. Film or film acting is not the end. Film acting is just a little branch that you come out of the theatre and you do that. It is never the end. The ultimate and the complete process of acting only happens in the theatre, nowhere else. Because you are alone on stage, you're with a live audience. And the training you get over there, the foundations you build over there, remains over there. You can only become a better and the best theatre actor. You cannot say from theatre, I've now graduated into film. You never graduate into film. Film is just a branch, that's it. You want to do that, you go ahead and do that. And you use all your acting techniques you've trained in the theatre to be able to support you to do the film acting. That's how it is. In film, you have to compromise a little bit because there are certain methodologies. There's a camera, it's a technical, it's got electronics. So there are many methods of doing that. There are many elements to creating a particular scene. So you have to be slightly conversant with those methodologies or technologies. Only that is the difference. You must know that it's a mid shot or a close or a long shot. You must know the kind of lens that is being used. So you know how to perform and where to bring all your energies in. You cannot be performing with your hands and legs everywhere if the shot is an extreme close-up. So the energies have to go into the eye, not into the hands and legs. Those are little things. Those any being or human being with a basic amount of intelligence can understand how to transform or adjust or compromise that into film acting. But film acting per se cannot be taught like that. There is only theatre and you learn the foundations only over here. So it's a myth if you say that now I have graduated to film or that's the end. No, not at all. You only work in the theatre and you only graduate in the theatre and you become the best in the theatre. Film, television, web series are only branches where you take your training and you go and apply it over there.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about your journey. So if I'm not mistaken, you came from the background of computer science. So how did that shift happen towards films and towards theatre?
I didn't come from the background of computer science. I came from the background of commerce. I was doing actually my graduation in commerce in Pune. And while I was doing that, I studied or I did a one-year diploma in computer science. So that was just something that I wanted to do. Just the way I did training in filmmaking as well at the St. Xavier's College in Bombay. So these are all short courses. There are many things that I've done. But essentially, yes, I came from a background of commerce. And when I was doing that, we had a lot of these plays that were happening, theatre festivals. And one such festival was the Mood Indigo, which is organized by IIT Powai. And that happened in my first year of my college. And we had never been to that place at all. So we were very excited. I was particularly excited to say that let's build a team, let's make a play, and let's go for this national competition. People from all over the country come. And it's a massive festival, I believe, Mood Indigo. And that's what triggered everything off. We did a play. I gathered I didn't gather. There were other people who gathered team members, and I was called as an actor to perform in the play. And then we decided, no, we will not do it only for the college. We will do it now for Mood Indigo. So wahan se silsila shuru hua. And then we got a director to direct us. We got somebody to give the music to us. So all these elements, Pune is easy because Pune has got the Film and Television Institute,
Right.
which was just a stone's throw from our college. So we would go there, meet people, invite people to help us out. So we needed help, big time help. So when an FTI person came, he also got some people from the National School of Drama. So all these people would gather, and then we would have this amazing practice or rehearsal session. That's how it started. And then we took it to Mood Indigo. We won the second best play, and I won the best actor. I think that's what triggered it out.
Right.
Suddenly, I think people started to prod me and say that, you won the best actor. So, you should be an actor. And I never wanted to be an actor. I was preparing for my MBA at that time. So commerce to MBA. So commerce, computer science, and then MBA. I wanted to do my systems management. So marketing with systems is what I wanted to do. I was very clear on that. And I had, I used to indulge in a lot of leadership activities in my college and won a few awards as well for that. So I felt, wow, this is the field for me now. Being this corporate head honcho and leading people and communication and all those things. But no, it didn't happen that way. The play changes slightly, and then I visited FTII, I still remember that. And the first day when I saw FTII, Film and Television Institute in Pune, I saw films over there. There was a festival going on. And I went to the library of the National Film Archive, which was across the road.
Right.
That's what blew my mind away completely. I never knew in my wildest of thought that filmmaking involved studies. Filmmaking was such a complex process, and acting itself had so many methodologies to it, and that it had a craft and a technique to it. I never knew that. Never. My heroes at that time, I would watch a lot of Mithun Chakravarti, Jitendra films, and for me, those were the greatest performers that I had seen. Not to demean them right now, but I felt that that is what acting was ultimately. There was nothing beyond that. It was about, fighting. It was about running behind trees and singing songs. It was about making your eyes red and getting angry and, clenching your teeth. I felt that is what it's all about. And you don't need to study anything for this. You just have to be good with emotions. But here is where I saw the whole world. And I saw amazing films. I saw Bicycle Thieves by Tisika. I saw Pothe Panchali by Satyajit Ray. I saw many films like this. And these began to blow my top off completely. I didn't know what to do. I was in a totally confused state. And then I took a very strong call where I knew that I could have done very, very well in the corporate world. I really could have done well because I had a lot of qualities. And so did my teachers feel in college. So did my principal feel in college. This is what I must do. I'm geared and I'm absolutely, made for this life. But I switched. I switched to the sadness of many, many people. There were so many people who were so grieved and so sad that I took such a drastic, such an unfortunate step of being an actor, for which they felt, what are you going to do? Are you going to be there singing songs, running behind trees with a heroine? Is that what you studied so much for? You have such better qualities that you can put to. All that, of course, was told for many years. One has to hear this actually from everybody. It comes from everybody, from college to friends to family to everybody will tell you this because of the uncertainty of the profession.
Right.
But as I went deeper and deeper and deeper, I was more and more certain that this is really what I wanted to do. I could not dream of doing anything or live a life of being anything else but an actor.
Right. You're also a president for a film club in your college days. Right. So yeah. Let's talk a little bit about that.
So that's again something very beautiful. When I say that I saw films not only at the festival at the FTI, I also saw films during the film club screenings. So I was the president, which means I was fortunate to organize films. Every weekend we are supposed to organize films, then call a teacher or a presenter or a director or somebody who would talk about the analysis of the film, etc. So that gave me an opportunity to go to FTII. and meet a lot of professors and teachers. And I would sit there keenly listening to them and trying to understand, wow, I mean, what are they talking about cinema, man? Here I'm seeing Pother Panchali by Satyajit Ray, and the teacher over there, I still remember this amazing professor. I think she was Mrs. Gayatri Chatterjee, if I'm not mistaken. And then you have Mr. Chabria from FTI, who was the dean over there at that time. And then he became the director of National Film Archives. There were so many, I can't recall everybody, but he would come and they would lecture on films, which was phenomenal, which was just phenomenal. I mean, I learned what are shots, how do you take shots, how do you therefore, have a character graph, what do you say in a film, what is the way to tell a story through a film. Then I saw Kurosawa's Ran,
right,
which was again, what a film. So you get an experience of all these things, and then that's what the film club did to me, right, immensely. I mean, I'm so grateful that I joined the club and I could be the president of the club so that I could organize these screenings. And more than anybody else, I think I'm the only person who benefited mostly out of it. So I was doing those activities actually a lot for myself as well, because I wanted to learn so much.
Now, a lot of people think that literature and cinema, like classics for that matter, is not accessible for everyone. Like not everybody can appreciate it. Do you think one has to develop a taste for these classics?
See, I would not say develop a taste. I would say develop a sensibility, not a taste, not necessarily that you must be well-read to watch a great film. You must be well-read to watch great theatre. You must be very well-educated to listen to great classical music. I think you should be more sensible, more sensitive as a human being.
Right.
That is something you inculcate on your own. You don't need a teacher to make you sensitive. You don't need to read books to become sensitive. You only have to have human empathy. Right. You have to be able to empathize with things happening around you. Be more conscious of things happening. The moment you become conscious of the world around you, the moment you become most aware of things around you, you will become sensitive. Your spine will become very alert. It will become very, very soft. And you'll be able to sense things. The moment you're able to sense things and your emotions become very delicate, very, very delicate, you're able to sense and breathe delicately. You can watch any film. You will be able to, because film is not a medium that says that please get educated before looking at me. No, it's meant for everybody. It's unfortunate that the entire masses cannot see all kinds of films simply because the masses are also dealing with their own lives and their own livelihoods. So there is no time to become sensitive towards other mediums or other things. They're only busy trying to make a living, trying to eat food, their shelter, etc. So one can understand why everybody cannot be, but if they can, they will. There are sensibilities in films and in the theatre that can touch any human on this earth. It does not matter how rich or poor you are. That's why films are important tools or mediums to be shown to everybody. Absolutely everybody.
You also know to have rejected a couple of big commercial films. Can you explain that choice?
Well, the reason mostly was that when you work as an actor for a long, long time in the theatre and in films, and you've done a certain variety of work, and then you are called for a film which maybe you might call it a commercial film or whatever, and you're called for a role that does not value or honor what your entire journey has been, and you're just there because you probably gained a slight name in the parallel cinema world or the web series. That's where they want your face and your performances to be there, but you're doing nothing to the film. I mean, there is nothing that your character is doing. Your character is only tagging along with the lead hero. Right. So people sometimes call you also assuming that you will be mesmerized by the fact that in every frame you are there with the lead hero. But I don't think good actors will ever find that so exciting. Okay. With due respect to all the lead heroes, I don't think we want to stand next to a star and then feel a lot of pride about it, even if you're doing nothing in the film. I don't think actors who travel journeys and who train themselves will never appreciate this. I'm sure many would be also saying no to such kind of roles. So if you don't honor the work that we do and you're simply making a stand behind or stand with I got roles where I was a friend with this star. So that's what my character was. Or, the elder brother to the star or the younger brother to the star. I mean, that has no meaning, and there's nothing that I'm doing actually in the entire film. And then they block huge amount of time that goes away. I was asked to block multiple months just for a few days of shoot. So you can't do that. Although I'm very willing to do work that is completely for the masses, commercial work that goes along. I'm very, very keen to do this. I would love to work with Zoya Akhtar, Vishal Bharadwaj. Vishal Bharadwaj, of course, I will not categorize him as, because he does both kind of films. But I would love to do all kinds of films. All kinds. I mean, there's no restriction like that. There's so many amazing commercial filmmakers. Abhishek Kapoor is so good. Anubhav Sinha makes such amazing films. Abhishek Chaubey makes such amazing films. Neeraj Pandey makes such amazing films. There are so many of them. Sanjay Leela Bansali, Farhan Akhtar, the list can, Raju Hirani. There are so many. The list can just go on. So everybody is there. I would love to work, but there has to be something that I can be a part of, not just be there. So the rejection is not because one is trying to say no, I will not do such kind of films, and I'm an actor, and there is a dignity. No, nothing of that sort. Films are films, and I would love to entertain. I've not done comedy as yet. I would love to get into that. That's one area of my work which I've never been able to showcase on film. I've done it in theatre, but never on film. So there are many facets to that. I would love to entertain as well, definitely, but something that honors what my skill is and my talent is.
There's a term director's actor, which is very loosely used. So what do you think? Do you think an actor should be very receptive to the director's command, or should the actor try to interpret the character on their own?
Both. It's a balance of both. So sometimes when you are very well trained and you have honed your craft to a certain level of excellence, you have to be with the director.
Yeah.
The director is the captain of the ship. You cannot do things what you feel is right. But if you at times feel that certain things that you can bring to the table could be very, very promising for the story to go ahead, you can always suggest that to the director. But the director takes the final decision and the final call. That's very crucial because he has envisaged the film more than you have.
Right.
He is looking at the film more than you have. But at times when you know that the director is not very qualified or not very well experienced, that's the time you put in your understanding or your interpretation of the character and try to convince him, saying that, look, this is how I think if I play it, that's where the story, because you know very well that the director you're working with at this point of time is not very well versed with acting. He may not be a director who's done many films earlier. With them, one takes the liberty of actually interpreting. But if you have extremely experienced directors who work with some fantastic, phenomenal actors, then you go with them all the time because they know much more than what you are able to give them. But this balance is very crucial. Just coming on set and saying, tell me what to do, that is not a sign of a good actor. That's a sign of a dumb actor. So the actor knows what he is doing or she is doing. The actor is very aware of what the shot is right now, what the scene is, what are my lines and my co-actor's lines, what is the sense of that scene, how are we interpreting it, what is the context of what I'm trying to say, how does this scene fit in the overall story. All that an actor is supposed to be extremely well versed with. Then you come prepared on set, and at that time, the director will now instruct you, which is why he's called the director. He'll instruct you on the spot over there, saying, this is what I'm looking at.
Right.
And this is what I want to do with the scene. And so because you're trained, you're able to process this information very quickly. And you say, okay, aye, captain. And you move with it. And sometimes you can suggest, you can say that, look, I have interpreted it like this. Could we see it this way? There are many times a director actually, I've been very fortunate with working with some very amazing directors who've been so generous that even if I suggest a way to do it, they would say, let's do this.
Yeah.
No questions asked. So I think I'm fortunate, that's all. I'm blessed that I've had directors like this and extremely well experienced directors who've given this liberty to do this. Yeah.
So you're known to be very disciplined and very occupied when you are on a film set. So what's that like?
Because I'm playing characters, so you have already gone into the process of shifting your mind, your breathing, your face, your body, and your voice into that of the character. So at that time, if you are not disciplined and if your mind sways across somewhere else, it's difficult to get it back again and to be there. So I prefer to keep all my homework that I've done and my preparations and keep it there, because I sometimes feel the character is very delicate, if you throw him about too much, you might somewhere lose it. At the same time, I don't become rigid, because if you become rigid and say, okay, don't touch me, don't talk to me, or nobody comes here, no, then you're becoming very rigid. There is a way to loosen up the character. So when you create it completely, you put that character into play after that on your own. The character is able to move around with you, but you still are holding on to the character. That's very crucial. And then you go on set, and that's where your discipline is maintained, because when you take a shot and there is another take after that, or 3 more takes, you cannot come out of your discipline. You cannot come out of the character. That's where the discipline is required, to stay and to hold on to what you are doing, because take after take after take will be there. If you suddenly come out, you might get dissipated. So, which is the only reason why I hold myself over there, and I don't socialize too much on set. Sometimes it again depends from film to film, but mostly I don't socialize much. It's only after the shoot is over, or it's a backup for the day, then I'm Neeraj after that. But when I go back to my hotel room, again, I am Neeraj and the character. So it's a constant play between calling your character inside you and then taking your character out and telling your character, go, have an evening, ghoom ke aao, masti karke aao, leave me alone, I'm Neeraj right now. I want to chill. I want to be with my co-actors and my friends. I want to call up home. So don't come right now. And then again, when you sit down again to concentrate, you call the character back and you put the character back inside yourself and you're ready to go on set. So discipline is important, and I like to remain quiet, because the lines you're speaking, your voice, your breath need a certain amount of concentration. And if you start to, socialize and talk around, you will lose that somewhere or the other. People who can do it, fantastic. I find it very difficult. So I hold on to these things.
Thankfully, finally, we have opened up a conversation about mental health, and you were talking about internalizing characters. Now, a lot of actors, while they are portraying negative characters and grayer characters, they find themselves in a place which is difficult to withdraw themselves from that particular role. So, what are your thoughts about that?
So it's you over here. There's the actor over here. And there is the character over here. So it's you, that's Neeraj, actor, character. So Neeraj goes into the acting instrument and he becomes the actor.
Yeah.
Now this actor plays the character.
Yeah.
When you are finished playing the character goes back to the actor goes back to Neeraj. This is a training. You have to learn how to train yourself.
Wonderful.
If you go into the character and forget that behind you there is an actor and behind him there is Neeraj, then you will be swayed into that character and you will harm yourself. That discipline, that training, that craft is very crucial. There are many ways to do this, but we can't talk about it right now because it's a different interview altogether to see how this is done. But these bifurcations are very, very important. I am very aware that I am moving now from Neeraj to the actor, and now this actor is becoming this character. And I know behind me there is the actor and Neeraj. So I'm aware of this all the time, even if I've gotten into this and transformed myself as much as I can into the character. I know that behind it, there is something else I have to go back to after the pack-up is done that evening. That is very crucial.
Yeah. So I know we have got lots to talk about, but we'll keep this conversation short. So in closing, I would like to ask you one thing that you would like to suggest all the aspiring actors.
Training, craft. Acting is a craft. Acting is not about reacting and emoting. No. Reacting and emoting is only 1% of acting. 99% is very, very complex. It requires a teacher to train you. You have to go and do workshops. You have to train in the institutes. There's the National School of Drama. There are many like this. If there are not, then there are many good actors who take workshops. Go and do their workshops. There are many workshop directors. Read on acting. But more than that, do workshops. And go experience life. Do not be sitting inside your homes, cocooned in one place, very comfortable, and having your coffee or smoking a cigarette having your mobile phone with you and going through your WhatsApp messages. You can never become an actor like this. Never. The first rule of being an actor is to go out into the heat, rain, sun, and the cold winters. Your body, your face has to touch these seasons every single moment of your life. Go experience things you have never experienced in your lives. Break your own patterns. You have patterns, sometimes we're very angry people, or we are very soft people, or we are people who don't eat much, or we are people who eat a lot. We are people who don't like good people. Sometimes people don't like bad people. These are your patterns. Break them. Break them totally. Don't say, I like this and I don't like this. No, you're an actor. You're supposed to like and dislike everything. Just as much as you dislike a bad person, at the same time you like the bad person also. You may not like to mix around with somebody, at the same time you will have to mix around with that person. This is very, very crucial. You have to break your personal patterns. Your personal likes and dislikes have to be slightly sidelined because you have to experience life. Acting cannot be learned through books. They have to be experienced, felt deeply. So go out there and live life. Do things you don't do. Participate in life. If there is a wedding happening somewhere, it may not be your family wedding. Go participate in that. Go help out over there. If there is a landslide somewhere, go over there. Be part of that tragic event. Help out over there. Do things. Be part of life. Do not be sitting inside your rooms. You will never be an actor that way. That's something I very vehemently and strongly voice all the time. Don't be inside your room. The moment you wake up in the morning, do your physical training, which is again not about going to the gym. There is martial arts, there's classical dance, there's vocal singing. This is the training of the actor. Finish that off, read plays, and then go out into life immediately. Spend the whole day outside, not with friends, with life. Be part of what is happening, be aware of what is happening. Then get back home once it's sunset, again begin your preparation, your craft, your training. ये दिनचर्या होता है एक्टर का. मोबाइल फोन नहीं होता है एक्टर के हाथ. ये आप तब करते रात को. You can just take out half an hour, check your messages, answer people, that's it. But don't be involved in that instrument all the time.
So lovely. So once again, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having this wholesome and insightful conversation.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and never miss an update on Film Interactions.